This is your daily market recap for Monday, May 22nd, 2023. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max, eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review, Monday, May 22nd, 2023. Hopefully you're surviving. Good weekend. Let's get into it. As of right now, looks like the budget talks, whatever you want to call it, are just at a stalemate. I mean, they're going to run out of money here in another week or so for the Treasury. Just kind of is what it is. What's the market going to do? How's it going to react? I mean, personally, I think they eventually kick the can down the road. It's just, will they actually get anything done? Or is it more of the same? And so, price in, whatever. I mean, it's baked in my opinion. Whatever the rise was going to be. Buy the rumor, sell the news. I mean, you can see it looks like distribution at the 420 level on SPY. QQQ trying to kind of play games. IWM rally a little bit. DIA was flat today. DIA was down on Friday. Yeah, I mean, you got NVIDIA earnings. Micron after the close on Friday. You know, China says they're not going to use their chips. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. And in my opinion, and people keep talking about the short interest on the ES futures, and I mean, typically when ES futures get short, it's not dumb money. It's usually big money trying to protect themselves, because I think at some point they anticipate the big move down. And why not have futures short as a hedge? Makes sense? Now, the put-call ratios have blown out positively in favor of calls being bought hand over fist. But again, that's why I told people there was not much to do today. I think around Tuesday would be your day if you're watching daily market recaps. You know that. On that note, let's do it. Follow us on Twitter for more of what we think is important. Again, I mean, there's a lot of things going on that are confusing. It's interesting, you know, seeing what's going on, like, especially in the car market. I mean, I saw this today. I'm like, Jesus, 20% off or 2.9%. I mean, you're seeing a lot of things. Here's that Chinese firm is banning Micron, but it kind of is what it is. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, hit the subscriber bell, notification bell. Always drop in. I mean, probably do a live chat tomorrow if possible. It's one of those things where, yeah, if you're paying attention, you're not paying attention. If you have notification bell when these things upload, you'll get what's it called? You'll get the call. I mean, you'll get the bell ring, and you'll get a notification. That's the word. So on that note, also, if you're following beginner and you're looking for, you know, to grow as a trader, there's a lot of information here. It all starts on thetradingagent.com. Please check it out for more beginner to advanced material. And also, too, if you're thinking about buying or selling a house, let me know. We absolutely, again, I can't disclose what happened, but you'll see when the listing closes, we absolutely destroyed it. We absolutely destroyed our listing. And again, experience, knowing what to do. Keep in mind, 80% of the realtors will probably fail or go back to like one deal a year. They're going to be absolute trash. And when they are, again, it's not in your best interest to work with someone like that, because, again, knowledge is power, right? Do you want the best lawyer, the best doctors when you have things going on in your life? If you have questions, please reach out. Love to help you out in real estate. Also, too, the Marcus high yield, this is actually 5.15%. I've got to update this. But at this point, again, I'm telling you, I don't think Goldman is going out of business. And so if you don't think Goldman is, I think these 5.15 referral codes for 3 months, then down to 4.15. Again, still better. I love the app. Again, this is a place to just store money. Again, if you need places to store money so you're not over the FDIC insurance, I think this is a great place to stick it near term. All right. CME, Fed tool, 75%. Pause, 25 rate hike. Nothing really changed. Bitcoin, we talked about, broke below, but man, it is just holding here. This is tough to know. And that's a long wick. So that's a ton of price range to discovery to figure out if you're going lower. It's just chopping. Oil, we talked about hitting these ranges, chopping around. I still think OPEC announces more cuts because of slower demand. The economy is slowing fast. That's my opinion. Natural gas, because of credit crunch. People don't realize that credit crunch is like when they start, they don't they don't peak in the first month. They go on for as long as it takes, and banks crunching. Nat gas said, watch a UNG. I mean, I just think there's better trades. I would just leave it alone. If you got any questions, again, please reach out. Wait for the split, in my opinion. I think that's going to be the best time to buy natural gas. Dollar, as we talked about, bottom going higher. Things that aren't bullish, all right, we'll see what happens with the dollar here. It gaps up, multi-day range. If you bought it down here, we talked about going higher. Cool. TLT. Now, this is the thing. People think rates are going lower. No, TLT is going lower. Rates have gone higher. I'd be watching this 99 area, 7% on mortgage rates. Again, is about that price. People don't like it. People are struggling. Again, I mean, we're doing great with real estate because we know how to market. We know how to bring in people, know how to create a buzz. I'm seeing a lot of listings. Again, price decreases. One of the competitions in the neighborhood that we're selling, the agent's been in the market for 35 years. She had 0 showings, 0 buyers on the first weekend. House obviously was inferior, but again, didn't market, did the average things that the average person does to list, saving money as an agent. And again, get what you spend, right? Get what you pay for. But the reality is what? Yeah, higher rates. Just, I mean, again, you're seeing it all over the country. Some places hotter than others. And again, people say, well, I saw this house go over asking. Again, houses that have been updated, quick and easy to sell, those places are going. But the stuff that needs updating, modifications, question marks, not great features, they're going to be harder to market. VIX, talked about it. A gift down here. How long before it bounces? I have no clue. It's just, VIX is holding up, though. It is holding trend. Needs to really get over this area. I don't know why every time I did that the first time. Needs to get over the 100, 101 area. Just keep an eye on it. SPY. Again, trolls come out at the highs. Not surprised. Here we are into a resistance zone, 20-month, all this stuff. We shall see. I mean, it feels very trappish. Friday, bigger volume because of OPEX. Curious to see if that was distribution. Again, I think this is the thing people don't realize is like distribution can be time-based too. Some people are like, oh, it's accumulative. But I'm like, look at all the red candles. They all have bigger volume up here, right? This clearly was a trap, and now they're unloading, in my opinion. We'll see what happens in time. QQQ. Up at what I would consider extremes, right? Filling gap, touching zones, high volume highs and lows, love to retest. So, what's the exact price? Just watch this upper 330s for Qs. IWM, nice rally today. Nice rally. Again, trading in a choppy range. This thing is lagging so hard. It should be up near 200. Clearly, it's not. DIA, I think it's because of deer, if I remember correctly, down, chopping. 50 days crucial. Holding on. Gold, again, whatever happens with the debt ceiling or not, I think gold, as we talked about, double topping, pulling back, miners leading down. It's just, again, seasonality. You're playing with fire here. If you're short from the highs, manage your positions. And at this point, again, every gold pop seems to find a seller. Silver, same thing, 100. Now, again, could these rallies on the debt ceiling stuff? Clearly, obviously. But just be careful. I don't know if the miners will as much because, again, credit crunch affects miners. People don't realize that. GDX, double top, 100-day so far. GDXJ, again, this led down. Junior miners lead the sector. Well, they made a lower high and lower lows. You see that? That does not look bullish. AG, talked about this thing lagging, close at the lows. Just going nowhere. AEM, this had been a leader, bull trapped. Now 100-day, holding, watch out. Newmont, close at the low. They talk about this is a piece of junk. Like, this thing should be up in the 50s. And then it should be like somewhere around mid-40s. Upper 40s. Nope. PAAS, another name that just got beaten, drudged. Double top. Again, let them play out. All right, let's get into tech because this is where it gets, this is where all the action is. Look at the zones, gap fills, back test of trend lines. Keep an eye on this level around AMD. Micron, again, gets punked because of China. Not surprised. We hit some extremes. Talked about the 20-month, talked about like the 100-week. All these little things coming into play, and it's like this gap down is interesting. Because, again, it could be a professional gap. Now, when you look at the volume, let's go check out. I'm just curious to check out the 10-minute on Micron. Yeah, it looks like very distributive at the open. Right? And then just flopped all day. Flopped all day like a fish. Taiwan Semi. Said low 90s, probably a gift. Well, you're there, fill the gap. Chopping. NVIDIA got earnings coming up on Wednesday. Be careful. This feels like a blow-off top. This day totally feels like a blow-off top. Imbeciles buying. But again, you don't know how high they can pull these things. Because, again, it helps for distribution later. Intel, same thing, been lagging. Bleh. SMH, talked about it, just kind of retesting, like range highs, trend lines, potentially gap fills, all sorts of things going on here. VAP zones, a lot of interesting areas, a lot of interest in this 133 plus area. Keep an eye on it. Adobe, we talked about this one, lagging and then catching up. A lot of the names did that, but again, not near the high, chopping. These things look like big base patterns before they go lower. Apple has been holding up, but Friday, I mean, their action is telling, right? Foxconn, there's been a lot of news going surrounding, like, Apple's struggling. See what happens here up here. I mean, again, pulled up. I feel like this is a novice gap trap. We've talked about what a novice gap is. A novice gap is a gap that precedes a change in direction, right? A professional gap starts the move. Well, keep an eye on it, right? Here's a professional gap, right? I'll show you guys some like novice gaps down here. Professional gap here, right? Yep, that's not really pro gap, but yeah. Anyway, you guys get the picture. Apple, just keep an eye on it. Amazon, now again, not surprised this thing. Rally, they picked up everything. Look where it's at. Tried to fill the gap. I mean, a lot of these names looks very stretched. CRM, I mean, thought this thing was going to fail at 200s. Went a little higher. I mean, again, not shorting, but keep an eye on it. Google, supposedly now, they are the AI giant. Talked about this zone, upside target zone. Keep an eye on it. I doubt they're going to be able to break over this with any. I mean, again, it's just. I don't trust any of these names. Meta gets. They get a fine by the EU and it pops up. And Scott, if you're listening, you got your 250 level, but long wick. I mean, kind of a joke. Again, they're going to announce more layoffs. I mean, the company. Meta's a dead company. I'm just amazed at, again, but in a bull, like in like the bullish part of a bear market rally. I mean, they're spiking. I mean, everyone's trying to hide into similar stuff, which is hilarious. Microsoft, again, this is disgusting. Could it fill the gap at 329? I don't know. AIO. I mean, everyone's like, oh, they're going to make so much money. It's like, I mean, I personally believe AI, yeah, it's here to stay, but I don't know how much money there is to be made, essentially, right? Because it's going to be free. NDAQ, we talked about this thing lagging, junk. Nasdaq composite stocks will not be the future of trading stocks. MicroStrategy, again, chopping around. If Bitcoin doesn't get anywhere, watch the 20-day. That could be a good short. Netflix, we talked about it, double topping, retesting, whatever you want to call it. All right, keep an eye on it. Could back off. Roblox, again, another one that's been all over the place. Pops, flops, chops. Tech, kind of soft. Tesla, now this one was interesting today because I'm not surprised that Tesla did this, but I am surprised. Like, we talked about this thing lagging. Like, it's crap. And now they're trying to pile into this. And I say the trash floats last. Sorry to say that, but I think this is trash. Keep an eye on it, right? Material names been lagging constantly. Snoozer. Again, materials not showing you economic strength globally. Nucor, chopping, chain, range lows. Caterpillar, we talked about the 100, 200-day, 50-day, 200-day cross for a short. Nice looking so far. VALE consistently just goes nowhere. And people are like, oh, I love it. And it's like, okay, whatever, not going anywhere. Arrow, talked about it gapping down on earnings, chopping around. Again, copper is interesting to me. Dr. Copper, keeping on it. CCJ, nice little pop today. Yeah, again, long wick. I mean, I imagine there's somebody who's always talking about, oh, it's going higher. I mean, they probably got caught in this trap today. I imagine CF materials, we talk about CF. Just, I think you've got floors that are tradable, but I just don't want to have anything to do with them. They just all look mosaic. They all look dead. NTR. I mean, that feels like capitulation. Look at the volume. But it doesn't necessarily mean it can't, like, chop around and go nowhere. Again, AA, names that you would think they'd be going higher. It's just dead. Southern Copper, again, I like to pull in some of these other material names. We talked about the gap down. These things look bad. I mean, this looks like a downtrend to me. It's just a matter of when. Freeport, again, is a big conglomerate material name. Just holding at range lows. You would think these things would be acting better, right? XLF, again, said the mid-32s to mid-33s. Chopping. I can't really tell you right now what's next, and other than it feels like it's just consolidating before the next move. JP Morgan, we talked about if you got the mid-140s, you take a shot. Nice pop and then flop and engulf bar down. Doesn't look bullish to me. Morgan Stanley hasn't looked bullish for weeks. Just dead. Goldman Sachs, again, that's been holding up a little better. Not maybe as JP Morgan-ish, but similar thing, like a left-right combo, 20-day, lower lows, lower highs. KRE, which has been, again, we talked about it. Oversold, maybe due to bounce. Could it get up to the 50-day? I don't know. But today's action on lighter volume, chopping around, I mean, it's just a matter of when, in my opinion, for the next round of beat down city comes. XBI, again, we talked about, people talking about shorting here. I'm like, this thing has been absolutely obliterated. When you zoom out, it's kind of like shorting Amazon or Google, some of these other tech names. It's like pick your spots well. Pick your spots well, because if you get caught in between, it might be painful. All right, let's get into solar, because everyone's like, again, I don't know why stock twits, you're banning me for telling you solar's going lower. It just is what it is. 20-day struggling. ENPH, again, this is the company I don't recommend shorting unless you get a bigger pop, but this thing has been beaten. I think there's better names. I think like Sedge for solar will look way tastier. Again, Sedgerton, we talked about if you get up into 310, 310 plus so far. So bueno. First solar, again, if you shorted 230s, high five to you. Now, could it bounce here? I mean, it's just, I don't know, might as well just spread it here. I mean, watch these levels, right? This is the floor. If it breaks through the floor, game over. Now, if you're a bear, don't be surprised if it consolidates. If you're a bull, you better have tight stops. HYG, we talked about corporate debt. It's been lagging. I rallied today, but again, it's like hitting the multiverse of moving averages. I doubt it's going to break through it. Let's end with oil. Flat. Nothing today. Zoomer. UNG, again, I don't like this ETF. It just is absolute junk. People have said probably take profits 6 to 750. It's a nice trade. 50 cents off today. Sadly. XOP. Talked about this chopping around. Is anyone surprised it bounced? I mean, I don't know. Not really. Fills the gap. Closes at the gap. Just keep an eye on it. ExxonMobil, we talked about shorting this up near the highs on the monthly trend line. Congrats. I mean, talked about reshorting if you wanted to add at the 200-day. That's not a bad looking little setup. But don't be surprised if it chops. Just, again, Occidental, we talked about this one lagging. It probably gives Buffett unlimited opportunity to sell cover calls and buy the stock cheaper, while the rest of the world goes, oh, we got to buy as much of stock as we can. And he's like, no, I want this price down, you idiots. That's what he says, so he can buy more. That's how he rolls. PX Dizzle, holding up as ExxonMobil holds up. Potentially, I don't know. Again, they're talking about this as a buyout target. I personally don't believe it, but we'll, again, if it is, that's ExxonMobil buying at the high of the cycle. I think they're smarter than that. EQT, I mean, it's been acting well. We talked about it basing. Look at this long base. Snooze, you lose. Holding support for now. Keep an eye on it. Again, I mean, maybe or not. It's just whatever you want. First, Flex LNG. Let's end it here as usual. Again, I like this. I think we're going to be export natural gas. And here's the problem with the people who buy UNG. If you like Flex LNG, paying the 8% dividend or whatever it is plus, you want to see you want to see natural gas prices low. And then we export a ton of it. And that's how when they benefit. Now, again, if the prices slowly decrease up or increase up, that's great. But reality is what? I mean, just, I don't know. Let things pull back. Let things pull back. Let things pull back. It's like, well, how much longer, Dan? And it's like, I don't know. You tell me. I wish I knew if I knew the answer. So after hours, anything going on? Yellen sends letter to speaker. Likely Treasury will no longer be able to satisfy obligations by early June. Yeah, potentially June 1st. Yeah, I'm not surprised. So again, going bankrupt. I mean, again, defaulting, is it really that bad? I mean, it's just like, how many days will they, honestly, whispering to myself, again, I think it's good. They go lean, keep the government lean. It's one of those things where they spend money like it never ends, but it just is what it is, right? Just be careful. I mean, again, they will figure out a way to kick the can down the road. They're very good at that. I mean, they have done what they've always done, and that is literally to kick the can down the road. All right, if you have any questions, please reach out. I, again, appreciate everyone's love and support. It's been some tough couple weeks in trading, tough couple weeks for me personally. I think a lot of you guys know what we're going through, family stuff. It's just, and then you try to keep it all together, focus on your health, focus on what's important, and do the best you can. Again, this is a hard market. So I will talk to you guys and gals later. Have a great night. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.